Alrighty guys, welcome back, and in this video what I want to show you guys how to do is defend against a 7th rank pawn. Now I say 7th rank from white's perspective. If it's from black's perspective, it's the 2nd rank, but essentially any pawn that is 1 square away from promoting to a queen, and of course we only have a single knight. Now another key point I want to make is that we can't really play for the win in this situation because a knight alone is not strong enough to checkmate this enemy king. So what we're going for here is a draw because this is a very deadly threat. If they queen, then it's pretty much game over for white. So we want to be able to capture this pawn or otherwise just have a draw, and that would be a successful mission. So how do we want to do that? Well, the key square that we're always going to look at in this video is this queening square. In this example, it's the D1 square. Now with our knight, we always want to control that. And by control it, I mean directly attack it, or in this first move, we can just go ahead and take our knight and place it right in there. Of course, if our knight's there, then the pawn can't promote, and that's just fine as well. So in this case, what black's going to do is it's going to take their king and start attacking our knight, because it either captures it and, then the king can move out of the way and the pawn can promote. However, from here, our knight is actually in a really good position where when it is in front of the pawn, it can just move to either side of it and still remaining this control on the D1 square. Again, if the pawn promotes to a queen, then we just capture and draw. That works as well. But another thing is that since black knows this and they know that this pawn is actually stronger than this knight in this position, then they don't just want to give up so easy. So they might do something like, well, they could of course move away, but then we're just playing this game over and over. So they may try to say, okay, I'm not going to move this, so I'm just going to take a step back since I don't want to allow this, or just trying something else basically. But now if you ever see this position, we have a better alternative where we can just force a draw ourselves, and that is a nice little sexy fork just like that. So again, we are checking the black king, and now they have to move their king away. It doesn't really matter where. We can just take and draw like that. So again, like I said, key concept here is whenever you're playing against a 7th rank pawn, what you want to do is control the queening square, and if the king tries to attack you, then just move to one side or the other. Look for potential forking opportunities. That sounded a little weird, but there you go. And yeah, simple as that. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to show you another position where the knight isn't exactly super close to this pawn already, but let's say that we were playing maybe from the other side of the board and we were a certain distance away and we were trying to bring our knight into the action. Well, in order to stop this pawn from promoting whenever you're bringing your knight in, an important concept to remember is that whenever you bring your knight into the action, you want to do it from the side rather than from behind the pawn. So what do I mean by that? I mean that if it was white's turn to move, instead of coming in from behind or anywhere in this area, we actually just want to take it and move it to E2 where it's on the same rank as the pawn. Why is this? Well, this king of course is just gonna try to move out of the way since it wants to promote this pawn right here. And now what we can do is simply move our knight to D4, attacking this pawn. So if black plays any move other than moving their pawn forward, then we're just going to go ahead and take this pawn on the next turn. For example, let's say that they, try to attack our knight, then we can just go ahead and take the pawn, draw, mission accomplished. However, if they don't want to lose the pawn at this moment in time, then what they can do is they're going to have to go ahead and promote it to a queen. However, then what we can do is we can just fork and win the game just like this. King moves away, knight takes, and draw. So that is why you should always move your knight to the side rather than from behind. And we'll take a look at what happens if you move it from behind. All right. So on the first move, let's say that this knight, instead of moving to this square, on e2, it decided to go to d3, attacking the king directly. Well, in this case, it wouldn't be the best choice because now, whenever the king moves to d2, let's say that we can even move to c5, looking for a fork after the pawn promotes. So we'll say that if the pawn promotes, then we can just move here and get that nice fork again. However, the black side, the enemy doesn't have that. They essentially aren't forced to move their pawn in this case. So what they can do is just take their king and bump it up to c3, again continuing to try to attack this knight. And now let's say the knight goes somewhere like e4 with a check on the king. Now they can just move it to d3, continuing to put pressure on the knight and forcing it to really have a kind of tough decision. So now let's say knight c5 check, again keep attacking that knight, and now the knight is just running out of options here. They're going to move to e4, try something desperately, but at this point in time, black, the enemy, can simply promote to a queen, and there's nothing that white can do about that. So that is why I just want to reiterate one more time, whenever you are bringing your knight in from a distance and you already aren't close to the 7th rank pawn or 2nd rank, then what you want to do is you want to attack from the side for the reasons that we talked about. So that is it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.